Hi, welcome to One Cool Thing. I'm Alex Cologne and I'm here with Sasha Segan. And today we are talking about the OnePlus 10T. As you can see, Sasha's holding it up for us. This is a $649 phone. It's OnePlus's latest phone, but it's not the only OnePlus 10 phone out there. Sasha, do you want to tell us a little bit about the 10T and where it falls in the OnePlus lineup before we get into your testing and our scoring of the phone?
Yeah, absolutely. The OnePlus 10T is, I have to say, it's really great power for the price. And it's wonderful to see OnePlus getting back to that. The most recent lines of OnePlus phones, especially the 9 and the 9 Pro and the 10 Pro, really got up to Samsung Apple price levels. And it's $649 for a phone running Android 12 with a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, the fastest processor available, some really, really good cellular performance, and the fastest wired charging on the market. That's a really good value.
So before we get into all those specifics about this phone, how exactly is it different from the OnePlus 10 Pro?
So here we have the OnePlus 10 Pro. Here we have the OnePlus 10T. You can tell that they look almost exactly the same. The 10 Pro is a little heavier in my hand, but the 10 Pro has a better camera. That is one absolutely key thing there. The 10 Pro has that Hasselblad branding and the Hasselblad color balance, and that is made for a better camera. The 10 Pro also has a optical zoom camera. The 10T only has a 2 megapixel macro in this slot here, and it's lousy. It's basically just kind of filling the space aesthetically. So the 10 Pro has a better camera. 10T's camera isn't awful, but the 10 Pro's camera is definitely better. The 10 Pro also has, you could say, a more advanced display. I'm looking at the 10 Pro here so that I can find the display settings. And the 10 Pro's display, first of all, goes up to 3216 by 1440 QHD. The 10T is just a full HD display, and the 10 Pro's display slows down from 120 hertz to a much lower frame rate, whereas this one just flips between 60 and 120 hertz.
And what kind of screens are we looking at? Are they OLED? Are they LCD?
Yeah, this is an OLED screen. This is a full HD 60 to 120 hertz Super AMOLED screen here. And sorry, Fluid AMOLED is the phrase that they like to use. I think Super AMOLED might be a Samsung brand. But in any case, yeah, it's an OLED screen. It's not that bright. It has a maximum brightness of 950 nits, which is fine, but it doesn't match up to, say, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus, which can really kind of blow up in bright sunlight.
So, I mean, I see right now, you're right next to a sunny window. I know where you are in the office. So using it where you're sitting or using it actually outdoors in sunlight, is the screen still visible? Does it fade?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, for a couple of years now, flagship smartphones have all had screens that are fine in sunlight. It hasn't really been a problem for a few years now. It's mostly a matter of degree, and the S22 Plus has a screen that's just really spectacular in sunlight, is really marvelous. Whereas I would say this one's experience is just good.
All right, so let's get now into a little bit more of the internal performance. You mentioned the processor. And it's basically using the fastest Snapdragon processor that you can currently get, right?
Yeah, it's the fastest Snapdragon processor you can currently get, with the prime core clocked up to 3.2 gigahertz, which is a 10% rise over this one here and your Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus. It actually comes in a reduced performance mode by default to save battery and to smooth out performance. In the reduced performance mode, it functions more like a Pixel 6, which is still a good phone, but it never throttles under heavy load, which is kind of amazing. Most of these phones that are running the current Snapdragon, they'll throttle after a few minutes. Now, you can also put the 10T into a maximum performance mode, where it has the performance of a gaming phone, like an Asus ROG Phone 6, like truly stellar Android performance. But OnePlus says that increases power consumption, so you get shorter battery life.
So speaking of power consumption, let's get to one of the more fun aspects of this phone. You teased it earlier with the power brick. Let's talk a little bit about charging and how fast it is here, and how fast it isn't here.
So this is the fastest charging in America. And that is this power brick. And this is a 125 watt power brick. Nobody else on the market in the US right now, as far as I know, has 125 watts. The last OnePlus phone in the US had 65 watts. Samsung advertises 45 watts, but really delivers 25. Apple is down at 18 to 20. So the 125 watts here, which requires this brick and a special red cable, only this cable, will charge the phone from 0 to 125 minutes, which is amazing. Yeah, but also it'll like half charge it in a little over 5 minutes. So you end up with, I was using this over the weekend, and the experience I would end up with is relatively often I'll forget to charge my phone, and I'll look at my phone and I'll be I'm at like 31%. Can I go out for the day? I don't know. I forgot to plug it in. You plug this in for 5 minutes, starting at 31%, and you're at like 79% or something. Okay.
And so just compared to the 10 Pro, the other OnePlus model, I mean, we're basically talking half the charging speed there, right?
Yeah, we're talking it doubles the charging speed, and both of them are faster than Samsung's. Now, what you lose, another difference between these two, is that you are losing wireless charging here. This does not have wireless charging.
So let me ask you, how do you feel about that trade-off?
I'm not a big wireless charger. I have pretty much always plugged in my phones. I prefer fast charging, and the only fast charging that I've ever liked is OnePlus's fast charging, which uses these special cradles and goes at 50 watts. But 10-watt wireless charging just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I agree. I will say I do use wireless charging, and I appreciate it. However, I'm using an iPhone. It's still, if I want to charge it fully wirelessly, it's going to take a couple of hours. The thought that I could plug in for 5 minutes and then potentially have enough power to just go on about my day, that would definitely make me reconsider.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing plus for this OnePlus phone, I'll tell you that. Now, of course, you need the proprietary brick. The proprietary brick is $50. The cable is another $20. If you're buying 3 or 4 of these to have take your home, the office, various rooms, the money starts adding up, but it is really an experience.
Okay, so let me ask you, we've rated this phone 4 stars, which is a good score from us. We didn't give it our Editor's Choice Award. So what are the drawbacks? You had already mentioned camera quality a bit. I know there are also some software misgivings that you're currently experiencing, and this is, we should say that you are testing. The phone isn't officially going to be released in the US until September.
Yeah.
So we're filming this right now in August. So we're definitely, we're using some of the earlier software that will likely be updated by the time that you can buy the phone here.
Yeah, the phone is being launched when this video comes out, but it's going to be another month. It's going to be another 2 months before it hits shelves. It's going on pre-orders at the beginning of September. It's not hitting shelves until the end of September. So there could be some significant software updates between when I'm talking about it and when you're seeing this video. And the 2 areas that most need software updates are, first of all, the camera. The camera, I can tell you, tends to overexpose things. That is completely fixable. That is just an algorithm change. But then the other thing is this Oxygen OS 12 situation. This is OnePlus's Android skin, and it borrows a lot from its Chinese parent company, Oppo. And they really, really customize the icons. They do this incredibly annoying thing where you try to swipe down for settings. Oh, no, wait, I successfully swiped down for settings. They do this incredibly annoying thing where you try to swipe down for settings and you get this widget shelf. And a bunch of other sort of overbearing things like that. Now, they have a new version, Oxygen OS 13, which is coming out later this fall. Hopefully that'll draw things back and be a little bit more like, let me see if this OnePlus 9 turns on, be a little bit more like the OnePlus 9, which uses a more minimalist, sparer, more basic feeling skin that feels cleaner and quieter and smoother, which was always OnePlus's specialty.
Yeah, I think actually one of the biggest draws for us and for many Android phone lovers about early OnePlus phones is that it was a fairly stock like minimal Android experience. So it is interesting that they recently moved away from it.
Yeah, the good news is the Oxygen OS 12 doesn't have a lot of bloatware in terms of there's not a lot of add-on apps. Now, of course, if you buy it from T-Mobile, there will be add-on apps, but there's not a lot of add-on apps. It's still basically the Google apps, but the aesthetics of it all are screwed up in this very non-US market appealing way. And so hopefully they'll work that out by the time between when you watch this video and when the phone comes out. But I don't think either of these things are a deal breaker.
Right. And there is one important aspect that we forgot to touch on that we should do before we close out, which is the cellular connectivity.
Yes, the reception on this thing is terrific. So this uses the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. It uses the latest Qualcomm X65 modem, which is also in the S22 Plus. And as we found in the S22 Plus, it has excellent low signal capture capability. I compared it to an S22 Plus on the Verizon network. It did even slightly better than the S22 Plus in some situations. Not enough that I would call it a definitive win, but enough that I would say it's one of the top phones on the market when it comes to capturing signal. I am pretty sure it's going to work on the T-Mobile and Verizon networks. It worked with T-Mobile and Verizon SIMs. It may not get certified for AT&T, so I would not count on it if you're an AT&T subscriber.
All right, so I think that pretty much covers it. This is the OnePlus 10T. It's $649. We gave it 4 stars. One of our issues that we noted are some software things, and we are going to test it again in the future before you can actually buy this phone. And we will let you know if OnePlus changes some of the software issues that we had and whether or not that makes it a better value proposition. But as it stands, you are getting a lot of premium features for the price. So thanks for tuning in and thanks for watching One Cool Thing, and we will see you again next time.